Joining us now is Tsvetta Kaleynska, who's a consulting founder and CEO of Relay Global. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, Tsvetta. So as we look across, who's reported, who's set to report, you've actually taken a closer look at those of the likes of Costco and BJ's. What are you seeing as far as sort of more warehousey type retailers right now?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. So when I analyzed consumer data discussions from social media available channels around those warehouse clubs, there were almost like two different flavor stories that I can share with you. So Costco is seen as your favorite brand. It's still a very beloved retailer just because it feels like a themed park for adults. What people actually said is once you pay that premium to get in with your membership, from there on, you just only thing you have to do is like be okay with the chaos in store, and then after that basically you're solid. Now with BJ's on the other hand, the flavor that I saw was actually that there were a bit more issues when it came to technology, when it came to their app, glitches and delivery service issues. So a bit more of that operational headache. But on the flip coin, on the value end, I did see that BJ's is still pretty much beloved for the discounts, and consumers go to it specifically for those coupons and the deals that they constantly announce.
Okay, and so obviously we've got Costco set to report on the 11th of this month, am I right?
I believe so, yes.
Yes, okay, wonderful. So as we look ahead to what is going to be a very important report card, what have you seen as far as some of the consumer appetite and demand from Black Friday, which obviously is the most recent shopping festival that's happened here? I mean, it seems from initial reporting that things look pretty strong. I mean, consumers are still out there spending. What have you heard? What have you seen?
Are you ready for it? So based on the publicly available discussions on social media, specifically for Costco, I did see that consumers were mostly excited about anything related to gold, diamonds, and refrigerators. Those are actually the three key categories of items that shoppers talked about the most.
Wow.
They were very excited to basically go for those high value ticketed items, specifically on Black Friday, just because of the large discounts. But again, there were also conversations about the Kirkland brand, which, by the way, consumers for Costco throughout this whole 2025 see as a badge of trust. So when they hear anything Kirkland, they would go for it, even if it's discounted or not discounted. So Black Friday literally contained high-end discussions and also Kirkland brand.
It's such a fascinating anecdote. I mean, gold, diamonds, and refrigerators. I always hear these stories about how Costco has sold out of their gold bars. So, I mean, it seems like people are waiting for these events to come around to actually go and shop at these places, to actually take advantage of these discounts. Tsvetta, as somebody who looks at the consumer, you study a lot of online posts, social media, etc. Interesting piece out on the Journal this morning, front page, about Gen Z shoppers not spending like the retailers need them to. I'm just wondering, as far as what you're seeing with regards to the conversation and the trends out there, what is Gen Z telling you right now about the retail spend and consumer trends?
Oh, Gen Z is just a completely different marketing animal. I say that because advertisers, when you place advertising, you have to basically look at your audience groups, as I've mentioned before, psychographic analysis, demographic analysis, income analysis, and how much they can spend. What these big retailers, anyone from Costco to BJ's to Walmart and Target and others, are missing, that Gen Z is not your traditional shopper just because they don't spend as much time in your traditional junk mail, snail mail, basically what you get delivered in your mailbox. They are on TikTok, they're on social media platforms, and the absolute only shopping manner that they use is shopping through social media channels. So what advertisers should know, and these big box retailers should be doing, and many of them already are, is just spend as much time on TikTok, which we've talked before is a large e-commerce platform now, and it's transitioning really to be one of the main competitors of the likes of literally Amazon, just because of the algorithms and the AI that gets placed for attention grabbing for those Gen Zers.
That is so fascinating. One of my first jobs was to actually deliver those retailer shopping discount pamphlets into people's mailboxes, which obviously is not generating so much with Gen Z, but thank you so much. Tsvetta, thanks so much for joining us here. That was a wonderful conversation, getting us across the retail space this morning. Tsvetta Kaleynska, who's the consulting founder and CEO of Relay Global, appreciate it. Let's trade it now with Tom White, host of Fast Market. An example trade for us for Costco this morning, Tom.
Yeah, Sam. The stock, they report earnings next week, but they report monthly sales. October sales were up 6.6%. We'll get November sales in the next few days also. So you get a better picture of what's going on. I think if you look at the performance in the stock, it's fallen about 15% from those all-time highs that we saw in February. And we haven't seen that for about 3 or 4 years in this stock where it's trending lower. It's at a higher valuation than most of its peers, but at the same time, it's outperformed most of its peers and also steady growth as far as sales. They just raised fees for their subscribers also, their membership fees. So that's been a boon for this company, but it has pulled back pretty significantly. So I looked at a strategy going into that earnings event where I can take a directional bias, but I can be a little bit more conservative, maybe a little bit more passive due to this slide that we've seen in the shares. So went out to that December 12th weekly option series. You're going to capture that earnings event. Implied volatility levels are elevated right now. We haven't seen these levels for a while in the stock. So I looked at selling a neutral to bullish short put vertical that expires in 11 days. So 3 out of 4 scenarios, I can profit on this type of strategy. If the stock goes higher, stays where it is, or goes even a little bit lower. I can be wrong, but remains above a specific level. So selling the 880 strike put out of the money to the downside, and then buying the 860 strike put. So a short $20 wide, neutral to bullish put vertical. You're going to collect roughly about a $4 credit on it. That's what you can make, $400 per spread with $1,600 in risk. But you've got a better probability of success, over a 65% probability that 880 strike will be out of the money at expiration. That 880 level has been an area of support over the last several months. So taking advantage of that higher implied volatility on a neutral to bullish short put vertical here, Sam.
Okay, good look at Costco this morning. Under a bit of pressure this morning, but as we say, we are looking ahead to the earnings that are coming next week. Thank you so much for getting us across that example trade, Tom White.